Today's episode of Nerd Soup is sponsored by Skillshare. Right now, Skillshare is giving away a 2 free months of premium membership to the first 500 people who click the link in the description box below. And after that, it's only around $10 a month.
For my kind, there was one place we were never allowed to go. One place we were never allowed to see. Your world.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I am Beau Oliver, joined today by Aaron, the Nerd Soup Monkey, and we are back to review Westworld Season 3, Episode 2, The Winter Line. And I have to say, I thought this episode for me wasn't necessarily underwhelming, but I thought it was one of the weaker episodes of Westworld so far for the first 3 seasons. Found it to be just filler.
Yeah, I didn't mind the episode. I thought it was pretty cool with seeing this new world, this war world, and some of the aspects of Westworld that were familiar to me that we didn't necessarily get next week. I think it kind of did a good job of introducing that this is going to be a new story, but kind of reintroducing some familiar things from what I loved about the show.
Yeah, but the character of Maeve, she ends the episode exactly where she started. And War World, it's cool. It looked cool. I actually thought the storyline it actually felt more real than the Westworld storylines ever did. It always felt kind of artificial. This felt real because it was a simulation. It's endless. You know, the world can be endless, depending on how many storage gigabytes they have, you know? If it's 1 terabyte.
Cloud. Right?
Yeah, right. They're in the cloud. So I didn't mind that, but I just found it to be filler. Like, they're just in loops again, and Hector's back in a loop, she's back in a loop. And the simulation inside a simulation probably would have been cool in Season 2. A lot of people theorize that that's what was going on. But here it just, even the revelation, I wasn't impressed by it. I wasn't impressed by her getting out of it.
I thought it was pretty cool the way it was shot when Lee is having that moment and it kind of reverts back to the aspect ratio we saw in Season 2 with Ford and Bernard in their simulation. Stuff like that I enjoyed, but I could see where you're coming from. It really didn't build much on Maeve's character. I thought it was a lot of the things that she's already been doing. I kind of had some suspicions when I first saw Lee. I'm like, there's no way they could bring him back. Because he just had that ending where he finally gave that speech that he wrote at the end, had that heroic moment, and to bring him back would have been useless. So I'm glad they didn't bring him back.
Yeah, it was cool to see that actor again.
Yeah.
And when she does...
Kind of like how we got Logan last season.
Right, yeah, and even Ford, too. She makes a point that Lee Sizemore didn't make that decision to give his life for hers because he loved her. It's because he was just a good man, and it was the right thing to do in that moment. So even the programming, that's one of the first things that she notices. She's like, Lee Sizemore didn't love anybody but himself. But even when she says, you know, they want information, they want to see what I know. And then she meets Sirach, and he's kind of just like, can you kill Dolores? So we couldn't have just skipped all this. I thought that would have been a great first scene. It's like Maeve wakes up. We're familiar with that. Dolores waking up in Season 1. That's always one of the iconic shots, looking down on the bed, and just start from there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, she was able to crack their code, which she said wasn't that great to begin with. But I thought that was cool how she was hacking, causing all this like confusion within the simulation to be able to break the code or whatever and get into the real world. I thought that was neat. Maybe they could have condensed that a little bit, but...
Did you like that chase when she's controlling the robot?
I thought it was cool.
I thought it was cool.
The way he was running, I liked it.
And she was it would go into first-person mode where she was kind of shooting the non-playable characters that were trying to catch her. And I did feel bad when they shot it, you know, and he drops the...
Yeah, I was watching the post-show, and one of the producers or writers said, like, well, in that moment, it's Maeve is basically the robot, because the Pearl, like, gets her escape. The robot fails, Maeve fails.
Yeah, that was sad. Bernard and Stubbs, though, I liked the performance by Luke Hemsworth when he was kind of coming back online. And they said in the behind the scenes that that's all him.
Yeah.
A lot of the times when these guys are glitching, they just let them act.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's impressive.
He reveals to Bernard that he's a host.
Yeah, we kind of all suspected that after Season 2.
Well, that conversation he had with Hale at the end, well, Dolores, which he probably knew, but...
Could call it my core drive. I want to go back in Season 1 and 2 and see if he ever did anything to help the hosts. Kind of just seemed like a Stubbs.
Yeah, security guy.
Yeah. It's kidnapped by Ghost Nation. And did you like the concurrent timelines where it's there in the actual Westworld, Maeve's in the simulation? That threw me off a little bit.
Well, I thought when they found the shell, like the host body with no pearl in it, I'm like, oh, maybe they're the ones controlling the simulation because this happened before this, what we're seeing with Maeve. I was expecting a little twist in time there, but that never happened. Who knows, actually.
Yeah. Well, Stubbs does give him the opportunity to find all the information about Maeve. that's where we get the D&D cameo. So that was a nice little surprise.
I knew it was coming, but I was still fucking shocked. I thought they were just going to be like guests or whatever, maybe just in Warworld or somewhere in the background, but they had lines. Fucking Drogon was there.
Yeah, Drogon. Looks like they were about to kill him.
I don't know what they were
They're
doing.
taking like a chainsaw to him or something.
Someone said it's a metaphor for season 8.
Yeah, no, that was that scene right there. It was just a simulation. Season 8 was a simulation.
I thought it was pretty neat. I don't know. People weren't too thrilled.
Oh,
but we
no,
got
of course.
Drogon
You know
back.
what's going to happen. Yeah. They were happy about Drogon.
It's not Westworld's world, though, judging by like the artifacts and outfits and stuff like that. It just seems to be a medieval world where they have a dragon.
Right. You could definitely travel to Westeros in that world, though. I'm holding out.
It's pariah.
Well, what did you think about Stubbs, too, blowing out his brains after his core drive was fulfilled? It's funny because I guess Bernard is a host with free will. Stubbs, not so much. He's very much following the core drive, the directive. You know, he was never programmed to go beyond what he was made for.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like IG-11 in
Yeah.
Mando. He just wants to kill himself when the mission's over.
Right, Mr. Meeseeks.
Yeah, seriously. He's just suffering so much. He keeps talking about it throughout the episode. I like how he uses the word retire. Kind of a nod to Blade Runner there.
I kind of like that duo, Stubbs and Bernard. I don't know. I don't know about it. I just like the characters together.
Yeah, they're a wacky duo.
So I was glad when he's like, you're coming with me.
Stubbs kind of reminds me of like a mall Santa. You know, he's just, you want him around. He's comforting, you know?
Mall
And
Santa?
Bernard's like this little confused kid. And he's just like, here, mall Santa, help me find Maeve. I don't know.
What the
Or
fuck?
like a...
Yeah, Mall Santa. Ooh. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what your experiences with Mall Santas are, but...
Well, when rampages start, you know, you want to latch onto a mall Santa.
We see Bernard yet again try to self-diagnose himself and see if what's been going on, if Dolores has been tampering with his code, because she did bring him back, so I don't think he's putting it past her to try to keep tracks on him, maybe set something up within him that he doesn't know about.
That was a hilarious line when Stubbs says, what does Dolores want to do? And he's like, I don't know. She wants to enslave humanity, destroy them. It was kind of funny. It was him like acknowledging the sci-fi cliches of AI throughout history. He truly doesn't know.
No.
I don't think Dolores knows either.
Well, and he also brought up the fact that Dolores did bring him back because she might be scared that she might go too far and she needs someone to balance that out a little bit. It seems that that's where it's heading, though, where she might go too far, but instead of Bernard being the balancing act, it will be Maeve.
Yeah, and it's interesting, throughout the simulation, Lee Sizemore is telling Maeve that she's going to be reunited with her daughter in the Valley Beyond. And I guess they figured that she was the one who sent everyone through, because she did lead them to the door, but she didn't send them to that location. That was Dolores, so she knows the coordinates. I wonder if that's going to be motivation for Maeve. That's how they entice her to go after Dolores. They guarantee her that she can spend the rest of her existence in the Valley Beyond.
It'll be interesting.
Well, it kind of makes sense. It's like they have the same goal here. It's like their goals overlap.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they convince Maeve and how that relationship works with her and Serac. That was actually a pretty intense moment when she goes to stab him and he stops Maeve. That's something that hasn't happened to her in a while, ever since she's awoken and been able to control her own destiny. To have that happen again, I wonder what her reaction to that would be.
And it's the first time that we see Vincent Castle as Serac. And I'm wondering now with Devs, if that he is the architect of Rehoboam, whatever that machine was called, the super machine. I'm wondering if that's the same machine that they fucking built in Devs. And it's just coincidence, because they're both dealing with determinism. And Westworld Season 2 was, in our world, determinism is true. It's the philosophy, the theory of determinism is true. And now, where do we go from this? So that means that machine could exist in the Westworld universe. And Devs kind of proves that as well. So I wonder if they coincidentally made the same season.
I think in Devs, they created the device to view, where this one seems more of a algorithm to predict.
But that's the same thing.
It's similar, yeah. Very similar, but I think the way it's structured and the way they actually achieve determining whether it's the future, past, or a single person's path is different. Yeah, I guess overall it's the same principle there.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, if it does turn out to be that way. Well, he tells Maeve that this is something that they didn't predict or they couldn't account for, was Dolores. So it's kind of throwing a wrinkle into everything.
Well, exactly, because in Season 2, it's Dolores making the decision not to kill Bernard. I think that's what Ford says, is that she was able to, as they call it in Devs, break away from the tram line. The logical thing to do would be to kill your enemy who's trying to destroy you, but she says, like Bernard says, I need this check on me in case I go too far. So she's basically saying your machine, she says that in the first episode, is not real gods. We're the real gods, because we've broken from determinism. We truly have free will. You don't, and that machine is just proving that you don't.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if I mentioned this on the last podcast, but if she accesses that machine, we already saw that in season 2, she read all the code for all the rich guests that came to the park. So I guess she can almost predict their futures, where they're headed, where they have already been, based on all that. But if she accesses that machine and that information expands to the entire world, the entire known world, then she truly becomes a god.
I don't know. Who knows? I don't think we're supposed to yet, because it's Westworld, and that would be kind of lame if we knew already. Well, you did predict William pretty early on in season 1, but that was still satisfying. Did you like the structure so far, where they had Dolores-centric first episode, then Maeve-centric, and it seems to be going back and forth?
I think it's too early to say.
Yeah.
And we still haven't seen William.
Yeah,
so
true. Yeah, but the assumption is they're all going to converge, because we do see in the trailers with Maeve and Dolores.
Well, I have to say, with 8 episodes, and this episode to me feeling like filler, it's a bit disappointing, and it makes me worried that if they don't converge quickly, that we may have a season of filler. And I had read some early reviews saying that was one of the problems that they had with season 3. We're just going to have to wait and see.
A lot of it has to do with, like you said, when they converge and what happens then. Because I feel like that's when everything's going to start picking up. When we get the setup of Bernard and Maeve versus Dolores, Caleb, and whoever. Maybe William hops on a team.
Yeah.
Is he going with the most money or best chance to win?
I think best chance to win. That guy is really competitive.
Well, he does want to save the world, so that's leaning towards Maeve.
Yeah, I'm excited for him to take on the role of protagonist now, where he paints it as that he's the good guy stopping the robots from taking over the world.
I'm going to do some convincing to Maeve, because...
Yeah, that would be that's a team of rivals.
It's bigger draws.
Lightly.
I had an idea for a script once. It's basically Jaws, except when the guys in the boat are going after Jaws, they look around and there's an even bigger Jaws. So the guys have to team up with Jaws to get bigger Jaws.
That is, yeah, Dolores. Well, that's the thing. Maeve might be bigger Jaws. She just doesn't want to be bigger Jaws. She's like Goku. Dolores is like Vegeta. But she's just fine with being Maeve, you know?
Yeah.
Just wants to be her, be with her kid.
They're giving us a bad name, the host.
Yeah, just like chill out, Dolores. But then again, they would probably kill all the hosts if they got the chance.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But then again, they would probably kill all the hosts if they got the chance.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So I don't know. It's tough. It's complex. It's a complex show. And
I'm sure William, something like that will happen, where he helps Maeve and Bernard try to take down Dolores while trying to take them down at the end as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole clusterfuck of takedowns. It's going to be WWE Westworld.
Hell yeah.
Well, guys, thank you for watching this review of Westworld Season 3, and of course, we would like to thank our sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers membership with meaning. With Skillshare, you can learn the necessary tools to bring your projects to life, while also supporting your fellow creatives. The courses available on Skillshare are taught by real-life content creators and artists, ranging from animators, filmmakers, podcasters, small business owners, and more. No matter what you're interested in, Skillshare has a class for you. Take this course, for example, YouTube Success by Sorella Moore. This 46-minute course is the perfect way for aspiring YouTube content creators to kickstart their channel. It's a well-detailed and easy-to-follow introduction to the crazy world of YouTube. But Sorel knows how to make it simple. Even courses like Simple Productivity by Craig McCown can help alleviate the stress of starting your channel or podcast. Producing great content on a budget has never been easier. And with Skillshare, you can master the essentials of being a successful creator. And remember, the first 500 people to click the link in the description box below will receive 2 free months of a premium membership. And after that, it's only around $10 a month. So don't wait, click that link and get started on your creative career today.